This conference will now be recorded.
Hi all. So welcome to day 13 of this JMeter session. Okay, and in day 13 I have listed this topic, right? But we'll discuss this later on. First, I will we will continue. Right. What we are doing is we are doing a script enhancement. So the script enhancement with best practices will be continued. Correlation and parameterization will be continued. Right. We were doing correlation and parameterization. Then from day 12, one topic was left, the redirection concept that we didn't covered in the last session, right, which was day 12. So we'll be covering that, and then we'll be discussing these all things from day 13. If any topic is left, that we will be covering in day 14, right, from this, right? So do not worry. Some topics it can jump in this video or in another video, right? So that can happen. Now, so we were doing script enhancement with best practices, and we were doing correlation and parameterization, correct? So finding the dynamic values and doing the correlation and parameterization. So we had a detailed session about the dynamic values, right? Now, now, in last session we did how to do the correlation, right? And we have done correlation for one value in our JPEG store application, right? So let me open JPEG store, this script. This is the JMeter, and this is the script, right, on which we were working on. So I'll open that and coming here. So here, correct. So here this value was there which we correlated, right? And I've shown you all the things related to that. Now next, what we will do, uh, so next we'll do what? Uh, we'll do the correlation. So if you read the step, so we have to follow the same above step for other dynamic values in the script, right? Other dynamic value. So currently we have fixed one, now we have to fix other. So we have to follow the same step for other dynamic value in the script. So we have to find another dynamic value in the script, and we have to deal with that. Okay. So next dynamic value is present in this login. So I'll enable the login transaction, and it is present over here. Correct, over here you see two values are there. One is source page, right, and another is FP. Source page value is little big, FP value is little small, and both are different. So we have to first we have to take any one at a time, and we have to deal with that, right? Not both at all. We have to deal each value, right? We have to find one value, and we have to deal one at a time. Okay, remember. So let us take this source page, right? We will take this one. Now what, again, if I repeat the step. So we have identified that value, source page ID. Now next what we have to do is step 2. Find its occurrence in previous responses of that request where it is passing in the recording log, right? It may be present in response body or in response header. Okay, it may be present in response body or in response header in the previous response, right? Now thumb rule. So two thumb rule is there. One thumb rule is that it may be present in immediate previous response, 70 to 80% chance is there, or it may be present in all other previous response, correct? If the value is occurring at two or more places, right, in the previous response, then we have to consider the immediate previous response value, right? So if we see here, this value is going in 23, request number 23, right? It's going in the request number 23. So we have to look back, right? Look back in the response of previous request. So there are these many requests, if you see, right? 13, request number 3, 7, and 22 is there, right? So we have to always look back, right? Now in that looking back, we have a thumb rule. First you have to try in immediate previous response. You will get that 70-80% chance is there, you'll get that value in the response, either in the body or in response header of immediate previous, correct? If it is not there, then you can find in all other, right? So So we'll do what? We will copy this value and we'll try to find that in response of 22, because this is the request which is the immediate previous, right? Immediate previous before 23. This is the immediate previous request, and the response of this request will be the immediate previous response, right? And where we have to look for that? Remember where we have to look for that? In the recording log, in the original recording log, right? So we will open the original recording log, right? Original recording log we have saved in the XML, correct? XML, remember, while recording only. So I'll open that. I'll delete this file. So after opening the file, you have to remove from here, right? Now, where I said, so this value is passing in 23, we have to look in 22, in response of 22. So here come and find 22, 22. This is 22. This request is 22, okay? So go to the response, right? And then put the value here and click on find. So this is the value. I'll double click on that and I will do control C, right? Select, and then here I'll do control V and then I'll click on find. So you see it's highlighted here. Fine. Now we know what to do, right? When we got the value, we have to take something from the left hand side and something from the right hand side as reference, right? That is important. So copy, let us say this value start from here and it's ending over here, right? So something from left hand side I'll take and something from right hand side I'll copy that and I'll put it in notepad. Okay, so this is that value. So I pasted it 2 times. It's this value is little bit big, you see it's starting from here and it's all ending till here, right? And there is something on right hand side called right boundary, right? You remember? And something on left hand side called left boundary, right? Now what we have to do, this value we have to replace that with prices dot plus question mark, right? Why we use dot plus question mark, that I'll tell you later on. First let me select this. In means in future session we'll be talking about that, do not worry. For now we just replace that value with that prices. Okay, prices dot plus question mark, prices close, right? So you see this thing, the left boundary will remain same, then the value replaced with this syntax, and then the right boundary, right? Why we need real left and right boundary? In the last session, I have explained very clearly, correct? And other rule that in the dynamic, in this left boundary or in right boundary, there should be no such changing data, right? Correct? Otherwise, address will be missed, right? So this all I have explained in the last video, right? Now we will test that. So next is once you have found that, then we have to prepare the regular expression to extract it and we have to test it. So I prepared that. Now let us test it. Copy it and test it. So here from this drop down, you'll see regular expression tester will be there. Then put that over here and then click on test. So when you click on test, you'll see here you see two matches. Okay, here you see match count is 2, means 2 such value is coming. Okay, so the match 1 0 thing we do not focus on that, or here you see the match 2 0, we do not focus on that. Okay, the 0 which has 0 in that, generally you should not focus on that because it contains the whole stuff. You see the left boundary and the value and the right boundary, we do not focus on that. Focus should be on the 1 1, match 1 1 or match 2 1, right? On that. So you see here so two values is coming. So here you see match 1 1, this is the value, and then match 2 1. Okay, this is the value. Okay, means two values are getting extracted. Okay, two values are getting extracted. So here one confusion can happen, right? Which one I will be taking, right? Which one I'll be taking. So for that you have to first understand that which is that value. If you see this value, which is this value, which is the value passing here? FRM, then B dash 27, right? FRM B dash 20. So is that present here? So obviously it's present here. You see this one. So it's the second value, right? It's the second value, second match. Two match coming. One match is here, 1 1, and this is 2 1. So this is that, right? This is that. We need this one, right? So this is the match two. Okay, so we'll come to that. Okay, come to this one more time, right? So this value is coming at second match. Okay, now so it's tested. Now what we have to do, we have to use a regular expression extractor to extract that value and store it in a variable. Okay, so the regular expression extractor we have to use, and to extract and store in a variable. So where we have to use that, you have to use in this, in 22, because you find this value where you are finding this value in the response of 22, right? You remember here 22, in the response of 22 we find this value and we are testing. So in 22 we have to use a regular expression extractor, right? Like how in the last session we have done. So same way, correct? Right click on 22, right click, go to add, go to post processor, and you see regular expression extractor, add it. So this value is added, right? You see this not value, this is element, it's added inside this 22, right? Inside this 22, correct? Now here what we have to do, we have to fill in some inputs. uh, the expression that we just tested and it is working, we have to put that in the second, right? So copy this and put it over here, right? Put it over here. And then the name, we have to give a variable name, right? So variable name, generally we should put some referencing what we are extracting, so it is good, right? Generally, what is the value? This value name is source page. So variable name, if you put something like that, it will be good to understand for other people also, right? So we'll give variable name like c underscore is a compulsory thing, you can say. It's not compulsory, but as a best practice we should do c underscore. Why I'm doing c underscore, I'll tell you later on. Okay, for now c underscore we will be using everywhere. In the last session also this c underscore we used, right? So we'll be talking about later on. First let us give c underscore and then variable name. So let us say source, variable name source page. Okay, source page id underscore 1. Okay, source page id underscore, that is variable name. And then here in this you will be giving $1. Okay, $1 in this third. Okay, why $1? Again we'll be talking about that later on. For now let us keep $1. Now come to here, match number. This is the important. Okay, match number. Here you see two matches came, right? Two matches came, and at 1 1 some different values there, you can see, and match 2 1 some different values there. And which is the value we are finding? This one, right? FRM. So at which position it is there? This is present at second position, right? 2, correct? 2. So it's match number 2, right? It's match 2. So here you have to give 2. Here you have to give 2. Okay, 2. Sorry, 2. Okay, 2. Okay, 2. For JSSN ID, remember which we did yesterday, means in the last session. The JSSN ID that we are extracting, it was coming at first position, right? So that's why we have given 1. Okay, but this value which we need, it is coming at second position, so we are giving 2 here, correct? Now default value, the default value will be generally the variable name. So you can copy this variable name, you can put it over here, and you can write variable name not font. Okay, not font, fine. And in this regular expression name also, if you keep this variable name, it is good, because going forward we'll be having so many regular expression extractor. So by looking at this, we will get to know that which regular expression is for which variable, right? So you can copy this and you can put it here as well in the name also. It's a good practice. Okay, done. Okay, this is done. Now next step is, so this is done. Okay, now parameterize that variable in all those subsequent requests using control F in one go, right? Wherever that particular dynamic value is passing. Okay, it can be passing in body, URL, or headers. So we have to parameterize that variable in all those subsequent requests using control F in one go, wherever that particular dynamic value is passing. This is the parameterization syntax in JMeter. Okay. So this value, right? This is the value which we are working on. Parameterizing means basically replacing. Okay, replacing. Okay. So replacing. Okay. So that variable, sorry, that value, this value we should replace using that this variable, right, in parameterization form, like dollar flower basis variable name. Okay, that is what we have to do, and that we should do using control F. Okay, control F, remember, control F. Fine. So press control F, so you'll get this search. Now in this first one, you put that value, so you just double click and control C, copy and put it here, control V, right, and replaced by, so this should be replaced by this variable in parameterized form. Correct. So copy this variable name. How the parameterized form looks like: dollar flower braces variable name flower braces close. Okay, and then you click on replace all. That's it. So wherever that value will be there, see, that value was replaced by the value is replaced by this variable in parameterized form. Parameterized form means dollar flower braces variable name flower braces close. Okay. Now same thing will do for the second value. Same stuff. So again, same procedure remains same. Okay. So this second value again is passing in 23, and as a thumb rule, you have to search for that in immediate previous response, that is in 22, right? That is what the first thumb rule says. If you do not find in 22, you can look back in other previous response. But first you have to find that in immediate only. Correct. So we'll copy this value. We'll go to the response of 22. Already we are there in 22 only. Okay. So we'll go to text mode. We'll come here, we'll put that here, and we'll click on find. So you can see here it's present, right? It's present, right? We are in 22, 22 only, right? And it's present. Okay, this value is present. So again, what we have to take, we have to take something from left hand side, something from right hand side, right? So let me copy all this till here. Let me put it in notepad. Okay, then this is the value, right? This value we have to replace with this syntax. Correct. So from here to here, replaced by braces dot plus question mark braces close. Now we have to test it. Fine, test it. So let us copy that and come here, and then regular expression tester, then put it here and test. So you see again two match here, match 1 1 and match 2. The value which we are finding where it is present, we are finding the value which is present at which start with xyin, right? You see xyin. So which is that value? This is the value. Okay, coming at second position, right? Okay, so match at match 2, right? So so in match number we have to give 2 here, right? So whenever you get two, suppose two matches or more than two matches, right? You see here also I'm getting one value, here also I'm getting one value, right? This is dynamic value only. Which one I have to consider, right? So you have to look like what is the value which is passing here. So the value which is passing is xy, meaning it's the second value, right? Second value, second, the value at present which is present at match number 2. Correct. Now what we have to do, we have to add a extractor in 22, because we are finding this in the response of 22, right? So inside that 22, again put a extractor called regular expression extractor, then copy this expression, put it over here in the second place, right here. Here you give a variable name, so let us say c underscore fpid, fpid underscore 1 template, right? In third thing we will be giving template, so $1. Now so this is generally fixed only. We'll talk about this more in future. Now match number. Okay, match number is 2, because the value we need is present at second match, so we have to give match number 2 here. Okay, 2. Then default value is variable name and not found. Okay, not found. And this variable name we should give over here as well, as a good practice. So I'll put it here. Okay, that's it. Save. So this is done. Now next, we have to replace. Okay, we have to replace this value with that variable in parameterized form, and that replacing we should do using Control F, right? So press Control F. Here already filled data are there. Delete them. Delete them. So search for this value, right? So copy this value, put it over here, and replace this by this variable in parameterized form. So copy this variable and here put that in parameterized form, dollar flower braces variable name flower braces close. Okay, and then click on replace all. Done. Fine. So this is done, and you'll get this highlight, right? It can be irritating, so you can remove this highlight. You see this highlighting is happening by pressing this yellow brush, right? This is called reset. So you can just click it 1 or 2 times, that highlighting will be gone. Okay, so these two values are fixed. Okay, fixed. Right now, what we have to do, we have to run up to this, and we have to check that whether this correlation parameterization happened or not, right? Means we have to check that whether those values are extracting from 22 or not, and whether they are passing over here or not, right? We have to check. So step by step we are running, right? So we'll just we'll just run up to login. We have disabled all this transaction, and we will check, right? So save and then run. Or two user, wait, it's running for 2 users. I reduce the number of user one here, right? So in last session I changed the user to 2, right? That's why it's running for 2 users. Okay, so you can see here login. So the whether the value is extracted or not, you can check that in debug sampler, right? So come to debug sampler and go here. So you can see here FPID one, yeah, we are seeing that value, right? And source page ID, right? Source page ID 1 here. Source page ID, yeah, source page ID 1 is having some value, right? Means the so this is extracting and storing in this variable, or this is also extracting and storing in this variable. We can see the value over here, right? Source page ID equal to some value, we see it's getting extracted, and FPID 1, we see some value, it's getting extracted. Now we have to see, so extraction is done, right? It's getting extracted, that we are sure. Now we have to be sure that whether those are passing here or not. Okay, yeah. So for that we have to check that request. So that request is basically where it's inside login transaction, request number 23, right? So you have to expand this login, and you have to, this is the request, right? You have to click that and you have to see, go to the request tab, right? Basically it's passing in request, so you have to see in request, like correct. So we have to see here. So what we see, we do not see anything, right? So I'll come back to here, do not worry, but I'll just repeat, right? You see, in last session we extracted the JSession ID, right? JSession ID, and then we passed that JSession ID over sign in, right? So how to check, if you see in debug sampler, for that JSession ID 1, we see some value, right? It's there. Now whether it is passing in sign in over here or not, right? In request number 22, so we have to check that, right? It's that 22 is a request of sign in transaction, click sign in transaction. So this is that request, right? And go to the request tab and click on that request, and you will see, yeah, that value is passing, right? We see that value. So this is how we check, right? Debug sampler will tell you that whether that value got extracted or not, right? That it will tell. But whether that value is passing or not, you have to check by clicking on that request and going in request body, you check, or in request header, wherever that value is passing, you have to check that. So that value is passing, means it's working fine. Same way we have to do for this as well, right? Login thing. So these two values are getting extracted. We know that. We have just checked that in debug sampler, right? Debug sampler, we have seen that in FAID, yeah, its value is extracted, and source page ID here, the value is extracted. Now, so that is done. Now, next thing is to check that whether this value is passing in this 23 or not, right? So both things we have to do. So you have to expand this login request 23, and you have to go to the request, because this value is passing in request, right? Request body. So you have to go in request body and check. Okay. So we do not see anything over here, right? Any detail here. Neither the username and password I see here. Okay. So here what is happening actually redirection is happening, right? Now what is that redirection? Fine. So if you see here, uh, this login request 23, here you see detected the start of a redirect chain. Okay. So actually redirection is happening, and that is the reason you do not see anything over here. So if you want to check that, you have to uh, expand this request. So here key symbol is there. Click on that and expand. So again you see two requests. So click on the first one and you see the details here, right? Here see the username J2E password and then the source page ID. Okay, you can match also. Match. What is the source page ID? Source page ID here. It's a starting with what? Q59. So is it there? Come here. Q59. Yeah, it's there, right? And then FPID. What is the FPID? FPID 1. It's starting with 7DU6. Come here, right? In this request. You see here that FPID 7D and it's passing, right? Now it's perfectly working. Okay. The correlation parameterization done, right? Extraction is working and the value are getting passed over here, right? So this is what we have to do. This is what correlation, and this is what we have to do for every dynamic value in the script. Okay, this is what we have to do every we have to do for every dynamic value in the script. And this is how to check. Using debug sampler, you can check that whether it is extracted or not, and by clicking on that request wherever it is passing, you can check that whether that value is passing or not. Fine. And this we have to do a step by step, not all, right? Means if I'm fixing up to login only, I'm working up to login, so these all I have disabled, right? Step by step we have to do for each transaction, right? That's why this scripting part means this enhancement phase, right? First we did what? First we did recording, now we did enhancement. So enhancement phase is longer phase. Why it's longer phase? Because this is what a correlation is involved. Okay, many dynamic values will be there. Not conventional dynamic value, non-conventional dynamic value, right? You remember we discussed two types of dynamic values are there. Conventional are there, then sometimes non-conventional are there. So we have to fix them, we have to correlate them, right? So it takes time, right? It takes time, and hence that is the enhancement phase is bigger phase. Okay, longer phase. And in that 60 to 70 in enhancement phase, okay, remember in enhancement phase 60 to 70% work is related to the fixing of dynamic value. Fixing means handling of the dynamic value, whether it is conventional or whether it is non-conventional. Okay, main work is that only. Fine. Now that is done. Now come to the redirection. What is redirection? So as I said, uh, uh, that we try to find that value in 23, and when I'm coming over in 23 request, I actually see nothing here. Okay. So and I see in this 23 here they are saying that start of redirection. Okay. So what is that? Okay. See, redirection means it will not always happen everywhere, but in some request it will happen. Okay, redirection means from one request it will redirect to another request. Okay, first you will see one request and then it will go to another request. That is what redirection is. So to see that redirection or to understand that redirection, let us go to the JPET store. Let me open F12. Then let me go to enter store, then sign in. Okay, fine. And now I'll simulate the same thing, right? So we will be logging in. So J2EE tab J2EE, and then I'll log in. Correct, login. So you focus on this URL, and you'll see this URL will change. Login. Okay. So this obviously this URL got changed. Right now, you see the things here. These requests are embedded resources. We do not worry about them. These two are the main requests. Correct. You see. Here you are getting a redirect, right? The first request. Its status code is 302, and then this is the 200. Okay, main request. So what happened is, if you click on this, right? This is the URL. First, when I enter the username and password, okay, and when I clicked on login, first request was this request. Okay, first request was this request, and it was a redirection request. Okay, and it redirected to another request. Which request? This request. It redirected to this request, to catalog this request. Okay, and hence in the URL you see over here in the address bar, you see this address is reflecting. This address is not reflecting. This address is not reflecting because from my side, from the user side, from the browser side, this request went to the server. But what happened? Somewhere it got redirected to this request. Okay, and that we see in the address bar. So this is called redirection. Okay, and you'll get the idea in F12 also. You'll get the idea. Their status code will be 302. So redirection request will be having a status code as 31, 302, 303, or 304. Correct. Right, basically. And plus it will be written over here also. You see, redirected, right? So what will happen? This request will redirect it to this request. Correct. And uh, this is a post request. So meaning of this that with this first request, the post request means the username, password, and those dynamic values went, right? You see here, J2EE, J2EE form data, right? They went, right, and that those dynamic values, source page ID and FPV ID, they went to the server. But what happened from this request? It got redirected to this request, catalog data request, and that is the main request 200, and that is the catalog dot action. It got redirected to that, and that we see over here, right? So that same thing is happening in our script over here. Fine. So when you are trying to see that, suppose you want to check that whether this value are passing here or not in 23. When you go and you are checking over here, you do not see anything here, and you see the request is catalog dot action. But what is this request? Account dot action, right? But what I see here, catalog dot action means automatically what happened, it got redirected from account.action to catalog.action, right? From account.action to catalog.action, it got automatically redirected, and that is the final URL, right? You see here that same thing is reflecting over here, catalog.action. So if you want to know in detail, right, so you have to expand that request. Okay, like you see here, if you see here, you will not get an idea, right? But in F12 you will get the idea that from account.action it got redirected to catalog.action, right? That we see here. But here I'm not getting that idea. So same thing here. From this you will not get any idea, right? So if you expand this request 23, so let us expand that. So you see this is the request, account.action, right, which is carrying all those username, password, source page ID, and FPID, and then it get redirected to this request. What is that request? Catalog.action. Correct. And as a single, both the request as a single, it's forming only catalog.action. That's why when I'm clicking on 23, I'm not getting any detail, right? Right, because it's the final URL showing. But when I'm expand, I'll get the idea. Same thing happening over here, right? When we are looking this at F12, we are getting the idea that from account.action it's redirecting to catalog.action, right? But here I'm not getting the idea, right? Because it's showing the final URL, the second URL it's showing. Correct. So that is what the same thing it's happening. JMeter automatically redirect, and that's why catalog.action I see. But actually it's not catalog.action, right? It's account.action, but it automatically redirected, right, to catalog.action. And since it redirected, so if you want to see the in detail, so you have to expand. So then you can see that account.action here, and then catalog.action, and these two is forming one single request. That's why I see the catalog.action over here, right? Like these two forming one single, and that's why I see one here. Now, so this is called redirection. Okay, plus whenever you record in JMeter, you will get a message also. For all those redirecting requests, you will get a message given by JMeter, detected the start of a redirect change. So wherever you see this request, you have to understand that this request is going to be redirected to some other request. So it's getting it's redirecting over here. Okay, now uh, how it's happening, how it's automatically getting redirected, right? This request, actually this request getting fired as account.action, but when it is firing at 23, it's changing to catalog.action because it's getting automatically redirect, right? You see account.action to catalog.action, right? But here I see as a one. So how it is happening? It is happening because in JMeter there is a setting. So when we recorded, see, when we recorded uh, the in HTTP test script recorder, you see here one setting will be there, follow redirect or redirect automatically, right? So generally this one is not selected, this one is auto selected, follow redirect. So this follow redirects let enables automatic redirecting, right? So wherever the redirection concept will be there, if you see the 23 where redirection is happening, so here you see a check mark is there, follow redirects, and in that check mark in that checkbox is there, right, about follow redirect, and in that checkbox one check mark is there, means follow redirect automatically. That's why JMeter is doing it automatically, right? You see first it's going to account, and then it's going to catalog, and it's showing as a single as catalog, right? So because this is account.action, but it's getting redirected automatically using this option, right? Now here two things you have to understand very importantly. First, you got the idea about redirection and how it's getting redirected in JMeter, that we understand. Now, two important thing. What is that two important thing? See, if you want JMeter to automatically redirect, okay, if you want JMeter to automatically redirect, okay, so JMeter will do that, and it's doing it over here. You see, uh, this is the 23 request, right? But 23 request is actually what? Account.action. But we do not see account.action here. We see catalog.action. Why? Because from account.action it got redirected to catalog.action. If you want to know in detail, you can expand this and you can check here account.action and then catalog.action, and as a single it's forming only one request here saying that catalog.action, correct? So automatically it's doing that, fine. But when you are doing the redirection automatically, the second request which is captured, that you should not run, you should not run. Why you should not run? Because automatically it's getting run by JMeter. See, this transaction login has two requests, right? You see here account.action and catalog.action, right? Now when I normally do, so I see this one request over here, the final request catalog, but actually it's account.action and getting redirected to catalog.action. You see, get of 302, right? So from account.action it's getting redirected to catalog.action, correct? So that same thing JMeter is also doing. When I'm saying that, hey, follow redirects automatically, so the same thing JMeter is doing. It's first going to, if you expand, you see it's first going to account.action, and then it's going to catalog.action. Means it's executing both the request, right? So when it is executing both the requests, why separately you will be running this catalog.action? You should not be running, correct? Because JMeter is already running the account.action and catalog.action. Again you are running catalog.action from your side. You see the 24, again you are running, already it ran, right? It executed, but so why you will be running again? So three time you are running, means three requests you are running. One is the account.action, already JMeter doing, and then catalog.action, again JMeter is doing, and then again from your side you are running catalog.action second time, right? Which is wrong. Is it correct? No, it's wrong. Only one time, each request only one time. So remember, when you want the follow redirect to be happen automatically by JMeter, so the second request to which it is getting redirected, you should not run, not run. So you should disable that. You should disable or you should delete that. Basically disable. So how to disable? Control T. Press and Control T. Select and control. So that will be disabled. That is the real simulation, right? Now if I run it again, so you see login and 23 catalog, and if I expand automatically, first account.action redirected to catalog.action. Okay, fine. So this you can do. This you have to do. You have to just keep anyone. Anyone means uh, if you want to do the follow redirect, then the second request you should not run, because automatically JMeter is redirecting from 23 to 24, and you can see here it's running, right? It's first running account.action, then it's running catalog.action, and it's just forming the single request catalog.action, like how we see in the browser as well. Two action, account to catalog, and but it's forming one single URL here, right? That's why we see here single URL, but in it's the breakage, right? You see it's a breakage. What we say breakage, segregation, right? Account.action and then catalog. I am not running this 24 from my side, because then it will be wrong, right? Catalog.action will be running two times. Already it's running, and then one more time it will be running. So it should not be running that. Okay. Now, so that is the case you have to remember. Now, second case. Second case is, if you do not want the follow redirect to happen automatically, if you do not want, then you can uncheck this, and then you should allow the second request to run from your end, because now you have unchecked this. So JMeter will not redirect. Okay, it will not redirect. So both the request you have to run from your side. Okay. So now if you see, I have unchecked this, correct? And let me just disable this for now. I'm just running 23. I have unchecked that. So you'll see now there will be no redirection. See here, account.action. The credential getting carried away. It's not getting redirect. Is it getting redirect? No. So that all depends on your wish. If you want the follow redirect to happen, obviously your check mark will be there by default. You can allow it. But remember, the corresponding request you should not run, right? To wherever it is getting redirect, those requests you should not run. Fine. If you do not want to follow redirect, then you can uncheck that. Then when you uncheck that, it will not redirect. Then in that case, you have to run the second request as well. You have to run the second request, means the next redirecting request as well. Okay, in that case you can run. So I have unchecked this, and you see it's not getting redirected, right? You see it's not getting redirected. It's account.action. So then I have to run catalog.action from my side as well. So there are two cases. Anyone you can do, but you have to take care of that. Okay. So now you see login. The first request account.action as it is, not redirect, and then this 24 running from my side, right? Okay. Fine. So you got the idea about this redirection. Plus one more thing I'll tell you. Okay. The redirecting request do not have any response. Remember this. Do not have any response body. They have only response header. Response header. Okay, header. The redirecting request. This 302, if you click on that, and if you go to response, nothing, no response. Okay, only header will be there. Even in the original recording, see, recording gone away, right? So again, we'll call back call it back from that file. So if you see 23, you see here it's 302, means it redirecting request. If you go to, so request is there, right? All thing is going, request header is there. If you come to response, no response. Response header will be there. But redirecting request doesn't have a response body. Doesn't have response body. Okay. Response body will get in the next request to which it is getting redirected. So response will be getting in 24. So basically here also response will not be there since it redirecting to catalog. So response will be there in catalog here. You see. So this response that you are getting is the part of catalog actually. Okay. So in same way here, when I'm running it separately, now 23 and 24 running, and I'm not doing redirection here. I'm not doing correct. So the 23 which is running, it's a redirecting request 302. A status code also you'll get same status code, right? 302. So so this is 302, and if you see the response body will be blank. Response header will be there, but response body will be blank. Where will be getting the response? In the 24, in the next request. So here you see here that body, here the response body will be there. Okay, so that is one concept about redirecting uh, request. Now here, let us say if I redirect it automatically. So in that case, this one I have to disable. So I'm disabling. Now if I'll run, uh, so since it is redirecting, right? So you'll get the response. If I go to login, if I select on 23, response I'm getting. But now this 23 is not 23, it's 24, right? See, it's not account.action, it's catalog.action because redirection happen automatically by JMeter. If you want to know, you can expand this. So if you expand, see, now this is account.action 302. But if you go to response, again response is blank, right? And then it from account.action it went to catalog.action, and here I'm getting the response. Now these two, since it is making a single request, catalog.action, that's why we are getting response here, right? In this case here. But again, if you segregate them, if you expand and if you check, so it's the same scenario. Okay, it's the same scenario. The 302, it doesn't have any response, and the catalog.action, it has response, right? But here we are getting it in single because JMeter is automatically redirecting, and combining those two requests, it is making a single request. Fine. Okay. So now it's upon you that whether you want to do follow redirect automatically or you do not want to do. So if you want to do follow redirect automatically in JMeter, so the corresponding request you should not run. Whatever the request will be there to which it is redirecting, you should not run. And how will get the idea? You will get the idea by looking at this message, or you can get the idea about by going to the browser and simulating the same transaction. You'll get the idea that which is the URL from which it is getting redirected, right? So the other URL to which it is getting redirected, that we should not be running when we will be doing follow redirect other, right? If you are not doing follow redirect, if you are not doing, then you can uncheck that and then you can run the other request. Fine, other request. Because if I'm doing follow redirect and if I'm running this, so I'm doing wrong simulation, right? Wrong simulation. Okay, because already JMeter will redirect to this request, it will execute this request automatically, and again you will be executing it from your side. So two time you are executing, so it's wrong, right? It's actually not two time, it's one time. Only the approach is different. Okay, running it is different. How you want, you can do. Now you'll ask me which one is good, right? Shall we allow follow redirect, or shall we should not do follow redirect? See, both are good. Okay, both are good, depending on the situation. What happens is sometime uh, whenever you are running this test, suppose for 1000 users or 2000 users, correct? So let us say you are doing follow redirect, right? And so the second request you will not be running, correct? So what will happen, we know, right? We'll be having only this main request, correct, in the report, correct, in the report. Report means the HTML report which I have shown you long back, correct? The report, right? Final. Whenever we run a test, we will be having a report, correct, where we see the response time, correct? These are all response time. So we'll be coming to this for 100 user I ran, right? So here I can show you login where it is. Now this is a different report. Here, yeah, we have your login. Okay, uh, fine. So two transactions, right? So in the report, see when that's what I'm coming, right? So when you allow follow redirect to happen automatically, so obviously we will be having only one request, right? So in report also you will be having for login, let us say you will be having only one request, right? The second one you will not be having, and you will be having the response time for that. Now you see here the response time is very high. It's taking around 98,000 millisecond. Okay, it's in millisecond. 98, no, it's not 1000, 9,800. No, it's 98,000 only. 98,637 millisecond, right? Millisecond. So if we convert that in second, so we have to divide it by 1000. So means it is taking 98 second just for 100 users. So it's very high response time, right? It's very high, correct? 98 second it is taking. Okay. So what our role will be, this is what our role, we have to run for 1000 users, 100 users. We have to check the response time, we have to check the errors if any error is there, right? So I'll come to that, but taking this example, so this is taking so much time. So now when you find that, you will point this to senior people in the project or developers, okay, or some concerned people like DevOps team will be there. Okay, DevOps team or infrastructure team will be there. Infrastructure team will be pointing to that, hey, login is taking this much time. So then their task comes, they will start looking into this, why it is taking so much time. Okay, so now they can do what, they can ask you that, hey, login is having two requests, can you give me the response time for both separately? Okay, if they say like that, then it will be problematic for you, because as I said, if you do follow redirect, so only one request will be there, and in report you will be having uh, I just said, right, only this will not be there, second one will not be there, only one will be there, and it will be showing the response time for that only. Okay, the combined, right, combined, which is a combination of two. We know that it's combination of two, but in report it will just show only one. Now they can ask you that, hey, I need the separate response time for the first one, right? The first one, right? The first one and the second one. So at that time you will be in problem, right? How you will be bring that? So at that time it's better to not to do the follow redirect and run them separately, right? Run both the requests separately, not to do follow redirect and then run them separately. So when you run them separately, then you will be having two requests, right? If I run it now, I'm not doing follow redirect and both requests I'm running. So see, I'm having both requests and their response time. You see, right? This, let us say this one taking 235 millisecond. These value are all in millisecond, and this one is taking 202. So if I'll be running both separate, then I can have both separate in my report. You see, login one, login two for login, right? And how much the separate they are taking, will get the idea. So then it will be beneficial for developer as well, right? So that is the drawback, correct? That is the thing. So now it depends on you whether you want to run with follow redirect or you do not want to run with follow redirect. Fine. If you run with follow redirect, remember JMeter will automatically redirect to the corresponding request, and that request you should not run because you are doing wrong simulation and you will be getting only one request. If you do not do follow redirect, then both the request you have to run, and both request uh, you will be getting in the report as well or in the run as well. Okay, now one more thing here. Okay, uh, see, I ran without means without following, right? Means I'm not doing follow redirect, this is unchecked. So I kept both the requests and I ran both the requests. So how much the first one is taking? 235 millisecond. And how much the second was taking? 202, right? 202 millisecond. So how much both has taken? Sum, right? 235 plus 202. So if you click on login, it's giving, right? You see, 437 millisecond it took, correct? Let me run one more time. Now, first one, how much it took? 191. Second one, how much took? 201. All are in millisecond. If you add them, what is the total? 293, 392 millisecond. Okay. So if you come to this transaction, right? You see 392 millisecond. That is the role of transaction controller, right? It, right? Earlier also I told. First, it is used to hold, right? Hold the corresponding request inside that. Means a transaction can have multiple requests. So here let us say two requests. So it's used for holding. That is one role. And second one role is adding, right? Adding like this much how much took and this much how much took. So total how much? Adding, right? Adding. That is what the use of transaction controller is, right? So this login is actually transaction control. So you see response time are not constant every time. And so you see, you can say, hey, earlier this login took 437, now it's taking 492. Some, it will be always vary, some ups and downs will be always be there. Again, if I run, okay, so now you see, now this it's 198 now, and second one is 189, right? So ups and downs will be always there. It will not be always a constant, and some is 387, right? But the values are very closer. If you see 387 millisecond, 392 millisecond, 437 millisecond, closer, almost they are closer, right? Now one more thing. So now what I'll do follow redirects, and I'm not disabling this request. Okay, I'm not disabling. So now you'll see. So now uh, this 23, how much it is taking? 405. Why it's taking 405? This 23 earlier, how much it was taking? In one case it took to 198, in another case it took 191, in one case it took 235, but now it's taking 405, which is the total of both, right? But it's this one itself is taking 4. Why? Because automatically it redirected, right? So if I expand, you see 204, and the second one 201, so sum is 405. That's why I see it 405. So already redirection is happening by JMeter, right? So 405. Now I run this catalog from my side additionally. So 197 got added additionally, right? So 405 plus 197 is how much? So if you come to login, it's 602, right? If you add them, so it's 602 millisecond, which is very high, right? It's not coming closer also. Why? Because I'm running it wrongly. So if I not run correctly, I'll get the incorrect result as well, right? Correct. So here already redirection happening. So you see already 204, the first request, and 201. So sum is 405 because it's redirecting automatically here and here. And again, the second request I'm running from my side. So it is adding some additional time, right? So I'm getting higher time now. I'm getting higher time. It's not correct, right? So that's why you have to take care. If you want to run follow redirect automatically, the second request you should not, second or whatever request is there, you should not run. Otherwise the response time will also be impacted, plus we are doing it wrong. You will be sending it two times, right? So it will be additionally adding into the response. Already you see, already this here, already this catalog got executed, catalog.action here you see by JMeter, and it took 201. And again you are executing that catalog again one more time. So you are adding, right? Wrongly you are doing. Okay, so that is the thing. If you want to do follow redirect by JMeter, you can do, but at that time the corresponding request which you think where the first request is redirecting, you should not run. If you do not want to do follow redirect, then you can uncheck this and then you can run both the request. Correct. Sometime redirection concept has 3 or 4 requests also, which I'll show you, or I can show you here. We'll be doing the scripting for that, but for now I'll just show you. Just to make you understand, we'll be scripting for this application as well. Okay, let me log in. So see here, 3-4 redirection are there. Okay. See, not 3, 2. See, login 3 not 2. Then it got redirected to this, and then it got redirected to this. So sometimes 3 also. Sometimes it can be 4 also. Okay, for other application. See, redirect. So how to end again same way. There also when means we'll be scripting for this also to understand this as well, right? In future, right? But there also same thing. You'll see all these 3 requests captured. So if you want automatically JMeter to handle the redirection, those so these 2 requests will be captured, right? Obviously, it should not be running. But if you do not want automatically to run, then you can keep them. All 3 you can keep them. Correct? Here we have only 2. So here what I'm doing, I'm not allowing the JMeter to do follow redirect. So I'm not checking, means I'm unchecking this, and I'm keeping both the request. Okay, both the request. Fine. Now in our JPEG store, this kind of scenario is there at one more place, where in sign out also it's there. In sign out also the redirect concept is there. Okay, if I show you here, I'll do sign out. So see account.xn sign off 302, and it got redirected to catalog.xn again. So we have same for the 2 requests captured here, 53, 54, right? Account.xn sign off got redirected to catalog.xn. So again here, if you so automatically see here for and here that message is also there. So whenever you will be running, what will be happening? Here the follow redirect is there. So JMeter will automatically redirect to from 53 to 54, right? Automatically it will do from 52 to 53. So I cannot run 54. So it will redirect from 53 to 54 automatically because of the setting. So I cannot run 54 from my side again, right? It will be wrong. So I have to disable this. Or if you do not want to do follow redirect, then you can uncheck the setting and then you can keep both the request. Okay, both. So in both cases, I'm going to uncheck, right? I'm not doing follow redirect. I'll check both the request, means I'll keep both the request, and follow redirect I'm not allowing, means I'm not allowing JMeter to do the follow redirect. We'll be running both the request separately. Okay, separately. In sign out also I have done. Okay, that, right? So that is the concept of redirection, and we have to handle it very minutely. Okay, because it will impact. Suppose you are doing follow redirect and you are running this request also, it is adding up to the response time, right? Already this request get executed, again you are executing and you are adding, so you are getting wrong response time, wrong simulation, wrong response time. Fine. Okay, now I'm not doing a follow redirect and keeping it, so both will be executed 2 times only, right? You see, both will be executed 2 times only. So here I'm not doing wrong simulation, right? I'm not doing any wrong simulation. 1 time, 2 times. Okay, or sign out as I said, 1 time, 2 times. Fine. And embedded resources on those page, suppose you did sign out. So embedded resources will be with this. Okay, you can see if I expand this catalog, oh, embedded resources are not there because it's cached. Caching is there, they are cached. In 24, no, it's not there. Embedded resources are cached. Okay, okay, not an issue. Ignore about embedded resources. So this is what redirection. Fine. So what we understood the redirection, then we understood the how it should be handled, and we seen that this correlation is working fine, right? Okay. So next, still correlation is left. So next in our script, uh, next transaction will enable select a pet. Here we do not see any dynamic value. Dynamic means the correlation conventional value we do not see. Okay. Then enable the next one. Here also we do not see, right? Fine. Any dynamic value we do not see. Then this one 7, here also do not see. In header also we do not see. You have to check request and its header both. Now add to cart, no, we do not see. Plus here also we do not see. Fine. Then proceed to checkout. Hmm. Here also in body we do not see. In headers we do not see. Okay. Then enter details and continue. Yeah. Here we have. Yeah. In headers it's not there, but in body we have. So again, we have to do the correlation and parameterization for this, and how to do same by following the same process. Okay, same process. So we'll start with the first one and then second. So see, name is same. Okay, source page and API is same. It was there in login as well. So name can be same, right? I told earlier, but values was different. Here it was different value and here it is different value. So for this also we have to do the correlation. Okay, so we'll first start with the first one, this source page ID. So it's passing in 45, right? So where it will be present as per the thumb rule, it should be there in the previous. In the response of 39, it should be 70 to 80% chance is there. It's this value, this both values should be there in the response of 39. Okay. If you do not find in the response of 39, then then second thumb rule, find in other previous. So if you do not find these two dynamic value in the response of 39, you should look in other previous, like in 38 you should look, or 36. In response of 38 or 36 you should look. Okay, but first you should try in immediate. So immediate is 39, and in response of 39 we'll find this both value. So let us copy that and let us go to 39 again. I have a bad habit of clicking on bigger brush, and we know, right, what will happen. It clears everything. So again I have to call the original recording. Okay, that is the importance of saving the original recording log in the file, right? So that we can always call. So now the value is passing in 45 and we should look in 39. Okay, so here it is original recording 39, this is 38, 39. Okay, so in response of 39, go and search, find. So it's present here. Okay. So immediately let us copy the left boundary, right boundary, and then remove this value from here to here with that syntax, braces dot plus question mark, and then immediately let us test it. Okay, so yeah, so again here also two match 1 1, match 2. Which is the value we are looking? So if you see the value, it's starting with HPJ0, right? So the second one, so match 2, right? And this syntax is working. Now what we have to do in 39, we have to add a extractor. the post processor, regular expression extractor. We have to copy this syntax. We have to put it here. We have to give a variable name c underscore source page id underscore two. And a new variable name, right? Why I'm giving two? Because already we had a variable name with same name, right? Source page. So here it was one. Here I'm giving a different variable name, right? Source page id 2, right? Then the template here will be $1, $1. Match number, right? Match number is second, the second, right? We need the second value. So 2 here. Then in default value not font, fine. And the same value will copy and will put it here in the name, fine, done. And then we have to replace. So how to replace this value? We have to replace by this variable in parameterized form. Okay, this value we have to replace by this variable in parameterized form. How we'll be doing? Using control F. Control F. Here some data are there, delete them. Then copy this and put it here in search, and in replace you put this variable by dollar floor prices variable name floor prices close and click on replace all. Okay, so it's done, correct. And then save, keep saving, right? And to remove this highlight, you can click on this brush, it will be gone. You see that value got replaced by that variable. Now click on this. Now we'll do for this FP. So copy that, and again, right? So we have to find that in 39 only, because that is the immediate, right? So we are already in 39, right? If you see here, this is the 39, right? 39 response, paste it, find, copy with some left boundary, right boundary. Remove that value with prices dot plus question mark. Okay, so left boundary, syntax, right boundary, and then test it. Testing is compulsory. Then only you will be sure that whether the value is getting extracted or not. Okay, then click on test. It's working. Again, two matches, right? 1 1 2 1, two matches. Which one we need? So if you see here, we need the value starting with U96Z. So that is here, U96Z, right? We need the second one. So 39, right? Add again one more extract. Copy this syntax, put it here, give variable name c underscore fpid underscore 2. Why 2? Right? Already we have a same variable, right? Where we have given 1, right? So this is different variable name. That's why here I am giving 2, right? 2. And in template here, it will be $1. Match number, we need the second value, right? Second one, second match. So match number 2. And then in the last one, in default value here, we'll be giving variable name not font, and this variable name we should give here as well. Okay, in underscore, and keep saving. Now we will be replacing this value with that variable in parameterized form using control F. So press control F, delete this, copy this value, put it here in search, and then this variable, copy that and you put it here in parameterized form. How is the parameterized form? flower braces, variable name, flower braces close. Okay, and then click on replace all. Replace all. So wherever that value is there, it will be replaced, right? You see, it got replaced. Now save, and if you want to remove this highlight, press this brush, the brush. That is good. Now you'll ask me why I'm doing Control F, right? Control F, because sometime what happen, the value can be present at more than one place. I mean the FPID that you are replacing, that value can be present at in other transactions also. So it will be automatically replaced in one go, right? One go, in one go. So that's why Control F, always prefer to replace the value using Control F. Okay, because it can be present in other places also, that value. So automatically it will be replaced in one go. Now run up to this, right, and check whether the value is getting extracted. This value is getting extracted and it's getting passed here or not, right? So yeah, so we'll be running. Wait. So it got executed. Now what we'll be doing, we'll be checking that. So you see, you can check first, you have to check in debug sampler that whether the value is getting extracted or not. So you can check here. Or if you do not want to use debug sampler, no use. Directly you can go in that request where it is passing. So directly go to 45 and check that value is passing or not. You'll get the idea whether it's getting extracted or not, right? So enter details. This request is of transaction 10, right? So here, right, that is what request number 45. So you can go to the request and you can check here. Yeah, the source page ID, it's passing, and the PID, it's passing. It's passing. Or if you want to double check, then you can check in debug sampler, right? Uh, so you can check here that source page ID 2. Yeah, we have the value, and FPID 2, right? Yes, we have the value. So debug sampler tells us about every variable whether the value is extracted or not. Okay, that is the use of debug sampler. And to check whether it is passing or not, you have to check in that request. So it's passing in 45, right, which is transaction number 10. So you can check in over here, right? Transaction number 10, this is the request number 45. You can check in the request that that value is passing on. Means correlation, fine. Likewise, we have to do for other transaction, but in our script, uh, now here we do not have, means this was the last. We do not have any more uh, values, right? You see, submit, no values, no such dynamic value. Here in go to meeting, no, right? You can see no. Then sorry, go to, not go to meeting, go to my account, right? Then go to my order here, so we do not have, right? So we do not have to worry if it, if this transaction doesn't have. Then clicking on booked order, here also we do not have, this value is there. Okay, so I will be talking about this. This is not, this is non-conventional. Okay, remember we talked about there are two values, two kind of dynamic values. One is conventional, which are the real one, authorization, and other is non-conventional, business related. So this order ID that you see, it's related to business related. Okay, so for this we'll be talking about tomorrow. But conventional, the main authorization value we do not have, right? Then sign out, right? Sign out also, yeah, we do not have both the request of sign out. In header also you have to check, no, we do not have. Correct. Okay, so almost done, right? Here one non-conventional is there. For this we'll be talking about tomorrow. Okay, so almost done. Now I, what I'll do, I'll run up to this. So this request can fail, or it didn't fail. Okay, not an issue. 14 supposed to be fill, it didn't fill, not an issue. So you see, everything happened. Now if you see, this is what the script is doing in real sense. It booked a order for us. You see home page launch, right? This is how home page launch look. Then this is enter restore. Then clicking on sign in, we should enter the username and password. So we are entering the username and password, and we are getting the welcome button. Then selecting a pet fish, right? Then booking the pet called fish, sub pet, right? Then a sub pet type. Okay. Then select adding this fellow to card, that EST20. So that EST20 item got added to cart. Then clicking on proceed to checkout. This is the page. Now here we'll be filling the details and we'll be clicking on continue, right? So next transaction, entering the details and clicked on continue, correct? Then we'll be doing submit. Submit. Thank you, your order has been submitted. And if you scroll down, uh, this is the order that we booked, and here that is the order ID. Okay. And if you wish, you can verify that in your application. So let us go to the application. Okay, let me sign in. J2EE login. I'll go to my accounts, my order. So what is the order ID that this booked? 10614. Let us find it here. Control F, 10614. 10614. It's there in the last. See, it just booked. It's the same order. This all detail you see plus the same item. You can match here, right? Correct. You can, yeah, you can match. One more time I'll run. So one more order will be created. So let me run. So I'm running, we'll just keep it for up to 11. It ran for other also, not an issue. For now, we'll be focusing on 11 till 11, creating the order. So you see again, one more order it booked. This time order ID is 10887. So if you go in application and if you check, refresh this page, see that order 10887. And if you click on that, the details, you can verify the product that got booked, you can verify the details that you can verify, and the product that got booked you can. So this is what the tool does. Okay, this is what the scripting is. Okay, script means, right, you remember, the script is given to actor by the director and the actors act according to that. So here the we are making the tool to act according to the real user, right? Real user does product booking in this same way using this transaction. Now the tool will be doing, right? And this is the scripting, correct? And this is what now you run it n number of time and n number of orders will be generated, and you can in real time this order is generated, right? Because you see on the application also you see the orders, correct? And in same way, right, so this is what first phase is scripting. Okay, here it's not done, right? It's not done, it's still only 50% completed, 50% works are still left. But that is what I'm trying to understand you guys, that what is scripting. This is what is the world, right? Real world user scenario simulation. So instead of real user booking the product, now the tool will be booking the product for us, right? And other benefit is now I can run for 1000 users or 100 users, and all those 100 users or 1000 users will book the same product on that application, right? No need of bringing the 100 or 1000 real user, right? We can do it through the tool, fine. So that is what the scripting is. Now here many things are left. Okay, so what I'll do, till then you do this and try to book your product, right? and you run up to T11 only. Do not run this all, right? Sign out you can run. For now 12, 13, 14 you do not run, you can disable and practice up to this. Okay, so thank you, that is for today.